I'm Megan Rowan, and I would like to discuss a little more in depth about medication and dispensing of medication. We've talked a little bit about organizing and labeling medication, but I would like to go a little step further and talk about a strategy with using syringes. Like if you were going to, if you have a diabetic who uses just an average syringe, or a child who's taking medication, pets. A lot of people, now with diabetes have, the pens to make life easier. But when it comes to dispensing medication to like a child or a pet, that's still done with an old school syringe. And so to learn a technique that might help in this area is really crucial. And I've it's technically has no name for it, but I'll call it the staple technique, okay? And what we're going to need for today's kind of lesson is you're going to need a box of staples, a syringe of whatever type you want to use, duct tape, and scissors. You'll also want to choose to have some type of labeling technique, whether you're a Braille user, a large print label user, maybe you're doing something like an audio labeling device. So whatever your choice is, whatever will make this easy. Anyway, moving on. So we have our syringe, and to make this as descriptive as possible, I'm going to talk a little bit about what the syringe looks like and give you a little bit about the name. Most people know what a syringe feels like, so to help me with this, I'm going to name a few of the pieces of the syringe. So where the medicine is in the tube area, where the liquid goes into, that's the barrel of a syringe. And then the back, where you push to remove liquid, is the plunger. And at the back of the plunger is flat area. That's the very end of your syringe. And then on the opposite end of the barrel, the opposite end of the plunger, you'll meet the back of the barrel. So you have this huge gap when you pull the plunger all the way out of the syringe, almost. You'll have a gap between the back of the plunger and the back of the barrel. Okay? So you have that gap. And for someone who's sighted, there is a scale of measurement on the barrel where you have to match up the end of the plunger on inside the barrel, okay? And so to make this easier, because someone who can't see this, it's really difficult to mark this in a way that they can. A low vision user might go ahead and mark a point on their plunger where they have to meet at the end of the barrel, like so. And so it's just a black mark that they could see, and they would know whatever, and they could even label it. They could put a label on here, maybe it's a 2.5 milliliter. This syringe has 2.5, 3.75, and 5 milliliters increments, okay? And so there are technically other ways to do it, but the method I'm going to show you can be used with anyone who, whatever vision, usable or non-usable vision they have. What you would do is you have staples. You just pull them out of the box. You have a whole row of staples. And you may need sighted assistance, whether it be a friend or a rehab therapist, or even something like Be My Eyes, okay? So you would want to have a measurement of each on your scale of measurements, but for right now we're going to the 5 milliliter. And then you place your staples in between the back of the barrel and the back of the plunger, in that gap that you have now after you have that measurement. Now, the tricky thing about this is breaking, because you're going to break your staples so they'll fit nice and snug on the plunger. Now, this is difficult because staples don't always break where you want them to. So it may take a few tries, okay? I'm not telling you I went through several sticks of staples, but yeah. So I'm going to break off our staples real quick. And we're going to attempt, and see, that's a nice fit. And so we have a good snug fit, and it's pretty precise on our accuracy. This is something we could use. Now, staple will not last if you don't wrap it in something. They'll break easily, and then your measurement will be messed up. So you could take your duct tape and take you off a piece. I've already tore off a piece, so you're going to place it, and however you can wrap it, seriously. I have a little bit of practice in this, but I'm not even going to quote on being perfect at it, okay? But you're just going to make sure that your staples are wrapped nice and snug. And I might even need to cut on it, but for this video, I'm not going to do that. So, okay, so I have wrapped the staples. There is a little bit of gap, so I would probably do this more than once with another layer of duct tape, okay? And I've already have one that I've already done previously, so we can skip any additional. But what I want you to see is you'll actually can feel these breaking when I'm squeezing this, okay? They're breaking inside the duct tape, and that's okay because they're still not going anywhere. So now I have this for as long as I want it until it's wore out. I can stick it in there and measure out a dose of medication, and I can, at this point, anytime I need 5 milliliters of medication of some kind of liquid, I would just pull up, stick it inside between or along the plunger, push down until it is nice and snug, get any excess out of there, okay? And I have 5 milliliters inside my syringe. Now, I have, like I said, one that I've done previously, and then we have our current one. The one I've done previously was our 2.5. Now, for this video, I did large print labels on a Dymo labeler. There's a lot of different label options out there, especially with large prints, because they can adjust the font size, and you can get some at Best Buy and Office Depot, things like that. I seen one at Best Buy for less than $30 recently. So, but a Dymo labeler works really well too. And so I have, let's see if it'll let me, a label of 2.5 milliliters. Okay. Make sure I get my camera back. Now, this is something you can put directly on your staple. Let me see if I could peel this sucker off. Now that I've actually cut it, it might not be as easy. But this is a question that comes up a lot with clients on how do I give my children medication. It's hard to do a teaspoon of this and a tablespoon of that, and here's the deal with syringes and using this method. People think, well, what about when my child gets older? Well, why can't you use a syringe with the older child? There's nothing wrong with that. They say it's if you read around, it's more accurate anyway. So, and they have syringes ranging from the size I have, although I've seen some up to 30 milliliters, and then they have smaller for pets. And so whatever the need is, you can get access to whatever you need, okay? And so I don't want parents or anyone to feel like they can't give children their medication through a syringe even though they're a certain age, okay? So I couldn't get the 2.5 off, but I got the 3.7 off. Okay, so we have 3.75 milliliters on our staples. So this can be kept in a Ziploc along with your syringe, and you can have the 3 different measurement scales. You can make the 3 and have them in the bag with it, whether you're using Braille or an audio labeling device or large print. You can even use bump dots if you think that would be helpful. 3 bump dots for 3.75. But it would be important for you to remember that it is 3.75 and not just 3. But it's something that could work. So many options with labeling. Whatever works for the person is what you should go with. So I honestly think I covered this. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, just shoot me a comment, and I'll be sure to reply back. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you so much.